Hi, this is Nilanjan and I warmly welcome you to the channel. I hope you are doing well. Just wanted to let you know that subtitles are available for this video in case you need them. Learners often ask me how they can go from being a beginner or an intermediate English user to an advanced English user, and that is what we will discuss in this video. I will give you sort of like an action plan that you can incorporate in your life that will definitely help you become a better English speaker or a better English user in general. Now, the things that learners should do depends on which level they are currently at. If you are a beginner, then your requirements will be different from those who are intermediate speakers, right? So in this video, I will talk of 5 different levels, starting with beginners, that is level 1 or step 1, going all the way till level 5 or step 5, that is advanced users. Now, I would obviously suggest that you watch this video in its entirety, but in case you don't want to do that, if you want chapter-wise distribution of this video, check the description for the timestamps. Now, our goal, our agenda is to make you more familiar with the English language, to make you more comfortable with thinking in English, and to make you more comfortable with speaking in English, conversing in English. Let's start with level 1 or step 1, which is for beginners. For this level, the goal is for you to be able to name things that are around you. For example, at home, you will have things like bed, mattress, curtains, shower, toothbrush, toothpaste, door, television, walls, etc. And at your workplace, you will have things like desk, table, pen, pencil, sharpener, ruler, etc. Now, if you are able to name things that are around you, then that's fantastic. You can move on to the next step. But in case you are unable to do so, what you can do is open Google Translate, that is translate.google.com, or you can download the Google Translate app on your phone. And let's say you know the local language for that particular item. For example, bed in Hindi is called bistar. So you type bistar in Google Translate and you get the translation, that is bed. Now, once you're able to identify things that are around you, what you should be able to do is form sentences that have a particular structure. They don't have to be perfect, but they should have a structure. For example, if you want to say, I am going to school, it should not be going I to am school. It should be I am going to school, because that is a structure that everybody is familiar with and everybody understands a sentence like that. For this level, you can talk about things that are physically around you, such as books or a door or something like that. Or you can talk about things that are happening around you, such as birds chirping. For example, at home, you can form sentences such as I will brush now, I just woke up, I am getting ready, and so on. At your workplace, you can say I'm having lunch with my colleagues, or I will have lunch with my colleagues. I need to finish my project by this Saturday, and so on. On the other hand, when you are watching a movie, you can form sentences such as this actor acts very well. I'm a big fan of this actor. I don't like the actor's voice. Or maybe you are watching the news. You can say that the journalist speaks fluently. At this level, start with simple sentences. Make sure that the simple sentences are correct, that there aren't many mistakes in those sentences. Once you are able to form simple sentences effortlessly, move on to compound sentences, which are simple sentences joined with conjunctions such as and or but. And once you are able to form compound sentences effortlessly, move on to complex sentences. There are great videos on YouTube that talk about these types of sentences. You should definitely check them out. Now we have level 3 or step 3, which is like the lower intermediate level. At this level, you should start to use English for everything that you need to think or everything that you need to do. You can think of sentences in your head or you can say them out loud. Now let's say you are practicing math. Think of the numbers in English. Think like what is 100 times 5? It's 500. Form full sentences, form complete sentences in English. Or think of hypothetical situations such as you are heading to your workplace and you step on a banana peel and you fall down. It's gonna hurt, right? How would you react in those situations? Whatever your reaction will be, think of that reaction in English. If you think you will call somebody for help, what will you tell them once you call them? Think of that in English. Or if you are in school or college and you have to submit an assignment, let's say next week, think of what your teacher's reaction will be once you submit the assignment. What if you get 10 out of 10 in the assignment? How will the teacher praise you, what will you say in that case? Think of all these situations, form sentences. And I know when you are thinking, you are likely to think in your mother tongue and then translate, but try to reduce that. From this stage onwards, you should actively try to not translate from your mother tongue to English, because that will stop your growth after some point. Another thing that you can do is revise your day. If you revise your day, you are going to recollect whatever happened during the day. While doing so, you will be practicing using the past tense, since you are describing things that have already happened. Try to describe it in a sequence as it happened. For example, at 9 o'clock, I brushed my teeth. At 10 o'clock, I reached office. At 11 o'clock, I started to work. At 1 o'clock, I had my lunch. At 5 o'clock, I returned home, and so on. And needless to say, you don't have to use such simple sentences only. You can use any sentence that you want. You can also plan the next day's activities. In that case, you will talk about future events and you will practice the future tense. For example, tomorrow I have a meeting with my boss at 11 o'clock. After that, I will go have lunch with my colleagues at 1 o'clock. I will try to finish my work early and leave from office by 4:30. Now, after level 3 or step 3, you have level 4 or step 4, which is the upper intermediate level. At this level, you should try to learn things in chunks. Learn phrases. Don't learn individual words. English is a context-based language. Things that you say in one context may mean completely different things in a different context. So learn how to use something in context. For example, there are many ways of apologizing to somebody. You can say sorry, or you can say I apologize, or I apologize for the inconvenience caused, or something like that, right? I apologize is more formal than sorry. So if you are in a business situation, you should say, I apologize for what I have done. I apologize for not doing my work or something, instead of saying sorry. So you get my point, right? So learn things in context. At this stage, your goal should be to speak. Speak as much as possible. Now, English as a language is a practical thing. You can't just learn theory and then expect to be a master at the language. You need to practice as much as possible. So write as much as possible and also speak as much as possible in English. You can talk to your friends or strangers on the internet. You can talk about anything. It can be a casual conversation or it can be a formal conversation. Completely up to you. But the thing is that you speak as much as possible. What if you don't want to talk to somebody else? What if you are shy, or what if you are intimidated? Well, you can talk to yourself. That's what I used to do when I was in school. You can talk about general topics such as food. What did you have for lunch? What do you think were the ingredients in it? Why do you like that thing more than something else? Can you cook that if you try? Are you open to trying out new dishes from different cultures? Talk about these things, whether it's with somebody else or with yourself. And you can also talk about other things such as travel, money, work, hobbies, movies, or trending music. Once you're in the upper intermediate level, you should learn about the common mistakes that other learners make and try to not repeat those mistakes yourself. If you want to learn about common mistakes that learners make, I have a playlist down in the description, and you will find new videos in that playlist pretty much daily. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Now, after level 4 or step 4, we have level 5 or step 5, which is the advanced level. At this stage, make sure that you are not translating, because translating is only going to slow you down. So at this advanced stage, make sure that you are learning idioms and phrasal verbs. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video talking about 27 idioms that native speakers use while describing their workplace or work-related events. For example, once you start working in a new company, you need to learn how things work in that company, correct? So you say that you need to learn the ropes. Or if you have got a big project coming up and you need to stay up late at night, you say that you need to burn the midnight oil. Or let's say you get fired. You get a pink slip in that case. So in that video, you will learn these 3 along with 24 other such idioms that you can use to describe your workplace. Anyway, when you come across a new idiom or a new phrasal verb, try to remember the context in which you learned it. Don't just write it down and see the meaning and all that. try to also remember the context in which it was used and in which you can use it. Now, as for things that you can do to improve your speaking, you can practice speaking about imaginary situations. In that case, you will practice conditionals, hypothetical situations. If I got 10 lakh rupees tomorrow, I would spend it on this thing. Or if I became the richest person tomorrow, I would travel the world whenever I want to, and so on. Similarly, you can also talk about conquering a particular fear. For example, I'm scared of heights, which is also known as acrophobia. You can have a discussion on this with somebody else, or you can just talk to yourself. Just one thing, if you are talking to yourself, record what you are saying, because when you have a recording, you are able to listen to whatever you said, and there is a record. And let's say you start on January 1st. On 31st of March, you will be able to see the amount of progress you have made. You can also talk about current events. For example, what's happening in different parts of the world, such as, let's say, Afghanistan, or you can talk about the pandemic. Another thing that I suggest my students to do is to summarize a book that they have read or to summarize a movie that they have watched. There can be two types of summaries. One can be like a 1-2 liner synopsis, and one can be like a, let's say, 10-15 sentence review. For example, if you open IMDb for any movie, you are going to see a 1-line or 2-line summary of the movie. And if you go down, you are going to see a longer review of the movie. Try to form both. That will help you in the long run when you have to summarize, let's say, meetings or things like that. For example, I'll just give you a short synopsis of Interstellar that I can think of. In a distant future, we see that humans have exhausted the natural resources on Earth and messed up the climate big time. At this point, a group of scientists and researchers set out to find other habitable planets where future human beings can continue to survive. And in this sci-fi piece, which is science fiction piece, we see the experience, we see the journey of these scientists and researchers as they try to find another planet which is like Earth. 2-sentence synopsis, I think. So you can try to form something like this. And a longer review can basically include things that happened as and when they happened, as in first this happened, then that happened, and so on. Just note that whenever you are speaking, you will make mistakes. That is perfectly all right, and that is expected. I mean, if you are not making mistakes, you're not trying enough. And if you're not trying enough, you're failing by default. Anyway, those were the 5 steps, 5 levels, as I see it, to becoming fluent in English. I hope you liked this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I also will upload a video soon about the importance of grammar in English. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon for that. I will leave links to some other suggested videos down in the description that you can check out, such as common mistakes that learners make and workplace related idioms. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, leave a like and share this video with your friends, family members, anybody who you think can benefit from it. To see more videos like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you will get notified when I upload new videos every day. If you have not done so already, follow me on Instagram. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and all the best. Take care. Bye.